So I'd like to invite Rachel Blaney for the next 7 minutes to ask her questions.
Ms. MP Blaney.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I, first of all, just want to thank everyone so much for their testimony, especially those of you who are sharing very personal and intimate stories about the reality you're facing because of this quite frankly, very apparent injustice in our country. So thank you for taking this up and being able to share what is happening in your life so that we can all as parliamentarians better understand it. So if I could first start out with Mr. Demers. First of all, thank you again for your very personal information that you shared. You said in your testimony that your wife would not be able to stay in her home at the event of your passing. And I just would like if you could tell the committee what that feels like to carry the weight of worrying about the safety of your spouse of, I believe you said, 17 years when you meet your end.
Je me sens comme si on monte en arrière.
If we go back in time a little bit, when I got the news in 2020, my wife was in the living room, and I went towards her. She was so surprised to see my face. She said, "What's happening? Have you seen a ghost? You're as white as a sheet." And I told her what was going to happen. It was like receiving a 2x4 in the head. I couldn't believe my ears. Even today, where we live now, if I pass away tomorrow morning, she wouldn't be able to stay here. She'd have to find, perhaps not low-income housing, but of lower quality. So it makes you feel cheap. And what I find really sad, as with any veteran here, we've all served our country in Canada and abroad. I came close to death a number of times in Haiti. And at age 60, we're told, "Thanks for your service, but your spouse, she won't have anything." And that's fine.
Thank you for sharing that, and I really am impacted by how you talked about feeling like you were hit by a 2x4. So I guess what I want to get clarity on is you found out in 2020, so that means to me that it was not made clear to you at any point of your service that if you were marrying after 60, that this would be the outcome. Could you speak to that?
Exactly right. I never heard of it. Maybe I should have checked more. J'aurais dû vérifier.
I should have looked into it a bit more. When I was told that, to me it just made sense. My spouse would receive my survivor pension benefits. When I was told that over the phone, honestly, it was the first time I heard anyone talk about that, and I was stunned.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and I think that is incredibly important, that it's not right, but it's also a shock, which really makes probably you as a human being feel very uncomfortable with your partner, that you didn't warn her that part of being with you would be this potential outcome. So thank you for that. If I could come to Mr. Pinsent next. You talked about being married 17 years to your amazing wife. I really appreciate both of you testifying here today. I think hearing from both of you has been really helpful. But you did talk, Walter, about feeling stressful, thinking about what the future was, and the hard conversations that you had with your wife about how you would make your financial decisions. So if you could just explain, because I think people need to understand how stressful it is for you to carry with you the fact that when you go, all the benefit that you bring to her personally is gone, but also what that means financially for her future.
Yes. It's a problem. Well, you see, it makes me feel that we've been neglected in our duties as a husband because, like I said, I'm at the age now where it's a major concern that my beautiful wife have some benefit for taking care of me since I got a divorce. It's not her fault that when we got married that I was strong and I was everything else. But through the years, the last 17 years, I've been aging at a rate probably that makes me more concerned now. Yes, she should be worthy of. It's shameful that I have to stand here and talk to people like yourselves about trying to justify my finances after death, but it's not. It's the principle of the law. I mean, I don't want to start going into what I've been seeing even so much as last night, how laws have been changed to accommodate a law that it was unreasonable, and I'll mention it. It was the blood transfusion part. The blood transfusion law was changed because of pressure from people, and this since 1901 we haven't seen anything, and so I felt kind of insignificant about this whole thing. I had a good career. Hello?
Can hear you, Walter. We can hear you, Walter.
You couldn't hear me?
We can hear you. You're fine. Continue.
Okay, I'm sorry. So basically how I feel is that she's been a good caregiver to not only me, but this community. She's well respected. And it's almost like an insult that I would leave this earth and not have anything to leave.